Hey everybody, welcome back. Psych here. Hope you guys are doing well. Finally got another update video for you. Got a couple common records, and then a couple I purchased off Discogs want list, stuff I've been wanting for a while now. And then just this prior weekend, went down to Omaha and went to Grapefruit Records with my college buddy. I call him college buddy, but his name's Jacob. And I'm definitely going to get him on camera here one of these days. It's going to happen. Just gotta be in the zone to make it, you know. But the two I picked up from there are definitely ones that you could think of maybe as like broadening my horizons musically. But it's definitely music that I appreciate, but it's a question of does it fit in the collection or not, because I try to keep the collection pretty concise, you know, quality, quantity, working with both of those factors. And does it fit in the collection at the end of the day? Because I do stream a lot of stuff and a lot of different music, more than just what you see on here. And these are a couple genres where I picked up some really good ones and can't wait to share them at the very end. So stick around for that. So like I said, a couple common records first and foremost. Picked these up at First Day Vinyl. It's the most recent shop here in Lincoln that's opened up. And this is kind of one of those cases where I'd like to pick up some songs from back in the day, mostly 60s and 70s, singles, you know, stuff that you would find in jukeboxes back in the day maybe, and you know, maybe some one-hit wonders on 45, and this is one of those cases. I've come to really appreciate this track. The Letter by the Box Tops. It's on the Mala label, but it's like a division of Bell Records. I have their LP back home in my hometown, and that's got the B-side Happy Times, kind of a nice bopper. Both songs are like 2 minutes long, so it's like 4 minutes in full. Yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, The Letter, of course, best known for Alex Chilton on vocals. 16 years old. Doesn't even sound like a 16-year-old man. Pretty good song though. I've really come to appreciate, you know, the kind of hook it has. Ain't got time to take a fast train. My baby wrote me a letter. I just there's something about it I really kind of dig. I love the strings on there, the hooks, and just the fact that it's kind of just a cool 2-minute charmer, and with the airplane noises at the end. I don't know. It's just kind of neat. It's just kind of grown on me over the years. Some of these hits that I thought were kind of cheesy at the time, but yeah, picked it up for a couple bucks. Pretty strong VG. Oftentimes when you see this, I mean, people back then with these hit records did not take care of them, it seems like, but this one, however, is a nice upgrade to my other copy here, and this is Candlestick Pillow. Could not believe the price on this. $8 for a mono copy. Look how nice that cover is too. It's got a nice spine as well. It's readable. Hopefully it's coming in. The only thing, I mean, there's a little bit of tearing going on, but it's not too bad compared to my other copy. Jill Joyce on the back. Yeah, looking in the light directly, I mean, you'll definitely see some more scuffing and marks, but overall, this played very well for a pretty nice mono. Nice label popping out yet. I mean, there's some spindle marks, but they definitely took care of this, considering it's, you know, over 50 years old now. And the mono, I mean, I'd say some tracks definitely work better in mono. For instance, Somebody to Love sounds a lot better. It's a lot more intimate sounding rather than, you know, kind of faded in the background, kind of echoey. Coming Back to Me sounded good. DCBA 25 sounds a lot of that jangly 12 string or whatever they use on it sounds really good. So yeah, just a very nice upgrade. I have a stereo copy that's pretty well used. You know, I wasn't really thinking of upgrading on this one, but for $8, how could you say no? And I'd say the mono in this shape probably goes for maybe 20 to 30 bucks. Depends on who's selling it, I guess, but just couldn't believe the price on that. And then these next two, like I said, these are kind of the ones I've been really wanting to pick up lately. I remember seeing this one on Seeking the Threads channel when he talked about more of the Americana sort of blending into the Psych era kind of bags, you know, that cosmic country. And I had known about this record, but I haven't really dove into it till Dom mentioned it. Ron Elliott's The Candlestick Maker. This is his one and only studio LP on Warner. This one does include the little lyric booklet. It kind of folds out here. Man, do I love this record. This one actually kind of grew on me over the years. I've been really listening to a lot of rural, again, cosmic country. Is about the best way I can tie this one together, man. This is like very much like that picture, you know, kind of West Coast, magical forestry kind of sounds going on here. Just out in the backwoods, but in the good backwoods area. Not so much like the Missouri backwoods, if you get my drift. But yeah, man, this is very celestial in some ways, especially with the title track. But Molly in the Middle, Lazy Day, whew, love that flute on there. All Time Green. My favorite though is probably Deep River Runs Blue, the last track on side one. Got a lot of like subtle wah pedal going on in the background, some, you know, pedal steel stuff going on. Really nice blend of instrumentation, mixed really well. And then you got also some, and if I didn't mention already, Ron Elliott of the Bull Brummels. He's got his buddy on here, Sal Valentino, on tambourine. There's a few other, you know, kind of session players or friends. Dennis Dragon, Daryl Dragon's brother, on here doing some drum work. And a pretty short LP. It only runs about half hour long, but every song works for me really well. And this is kind of a hard record to find in this clean of shape too, even the, you know, with ring wear and stuff like that. You know, I think it was like $40. It's got a few little marks, but not too bad. Played very well. Got that puke green Warner label. And I think this came out like early 70, but I think it was recorded in 69. So can't recommend this enough if you love those kind of rural, I guess, singer-songwriter types. You know, Goose Creek Symphony, Relatively Clean Rivers, even like Mountain Bus, Sundance album. It's not maybe as rocky as that one is, but it's got some goods, man. It gives me the same kind of vibe that I look for. And yeah, if anything, this is probably the strongest recommendation of any of the LPs on here on this list. Then the next one, I got this one on a really good deal on Discogs one day. Just happened to pop up, and I've been seeing some copies go for like $40-50, but never half that price. This was about $20-25 around there for Sebastian Ian Sebastian with his album Rays to the Sun, or Of the Sun. And this is on the MCA label through Canada. I forget where he's from. I think maybe Toronto, around there. This was actually in the shrink when I got it, but it was kind of falling apart, deteriorating, so I figured, you know, take that stuff off. And yeah, this is one that's been on the want list a long time for me. Ever since I heard the track Passages, kind of whisked me away. And that track in particular, Passages, was featured on I Feel the Music compilation. It's like a compilation by Paul Major, so then you know it's good. But it's definitely a standout on here. That one and the title track, Rays of the Sun. It's the two lengthier tracks. Worth checking out on here for sure. You got producer on here, Pete Tessier, who is known for his album By Turning a Knob. It's one of the more obscure titles coming out of Canada on the Columbia label. And I think they just reissued that. I'm still looking for the reissue, but I don't think they pressed very many. I think it was kind of limited. But not in any big hurry to pick it up. But if you guys know that record, those two tracks kind of have those kind of similar vibes going for it. I wouldn't necessarily call this, you know, very tripped out, but it's got some of those period flavors moving through for sure. Got some nice organ leads, even some Leslie speaker vocals on passages. A little more on the Baroque folk pop side. And some of the tracks do sound a little, as I stated on Instagram, overcooked. It's a little too polished or produced on some tracks. And I'm only speaking for like maybe 2 or 3 tracks. But they're still pretty listenable. I'd say the first track's really good, Back in My Love Again, or Back in Love Again, followed up by Love Time. But I think it was like Be What You Are, Jubilation. Yeah, I can't remember the exact tracks, but there was definitely some that were, you know, a little too squeaky clean for me. But overall, considering the value of this, what I got it for, it had a significant discount because there's just a few little strays of marks on one particular part here. I can get it in the shot, maybe not. Yeah, if you can see on the bottom there, kind of looks ugly when you see it, but the rest of it's pretty clean. And it's just got a few rotational clicks, you know, for maybe a couple minutes, but it's not too bad. It's still very listenable. And to save me $20 just for that, I'll take it any day. You know, I may start just purchasing some lower graded records just to own them. It doesn't necessarily have to be super clean, but it is always a nice bonus. So that's kind of the way I'm thinking right now. I'd like to get this for $20, and this is only pressed in Canada, so I do see a lot of copies floating around the US though. Ian Sebastian, don't know a whole lot about him. I think he had like a string of singles prior to this, which kind of led up to making this album. I think they might have got some local airplay around the area, and I thought maybe I'd do like an Acid Archive Diaries of this one. We'll see. I mean, I just already kind of talked about it, but we'll see if it happens. I do know it was in the book. Then these next two, really excited to talk about these, even though this first one was kind of a blind listen for me, even though I've known about this guy, or known the name, I think. Just never really dove into his discography. And this is some good shit, man. This is really what I'm digging at this moment in time. And we're talking about Lonnie Liston Smith and the Cosmic Echoes, the expansions. This is a reissue. I don't remember exactly when this came out. Maybe 2018 or something. I think the originals are fairly easy to find, maybe $50 in good shape. For seeing it in the shop at Grapefruit, my buddy, we're kind of polar opposites when it comes to like what we grew up with. You know, I'm kind of more of like an encyclopedia, as he likes to coin the phrase. Grew up on Psych, as opposed to him, where he grew up on a lot of like hip hop and jazz and soul. And of course, he hipped me to this one, and he said he'd be surprised if I didn't like this. And boy, I love the hell out of this, man. This is so good. And this is a good entry for me because, you know, I don't know if this is considered jazz fusion, but it's definitely that jazz funk. A lot of instrumental breaks in here. But I love what's going on this one. Lonnie Liston on the keys, you know, he's got this very wavy sort of, this wavy gravy on the keys, man. It's so good. A lot of electric piano. Bob Thiel is producing this one. It's also mixed by him. A lot of people seem to be surrounding this project. Love that cover art. I mean, that's exactly what you're going to get into, man. Going to sink into Lonnie's world. And I definitely have to listen to his other records, man, because this one, I don't do too many blind polls, but this was a great choice, man. I'm really ecstatic about picking this up. It's on the Flying Dutchman label, which I think was the original label, right? Isn't that a label through like RCA? And I'd say my favorite track, if I had one, Voodoo Woman. Whew. That's some funky stuff, man. And you know, the whole side one, expansions, Summer Days, a lot of great percussive things going on, some triangles, What, is there some harp on here? I don't even know. There's like congas, flute, some electronic synths going on, electric piano, saxophone, a lot of reed sections here. I am sinking into another world with this one, and I am not upset about it. This is what the doctor ordered, as they say. So yeah, I left a lot of stuff behind too. Grapefruit was really pushing some good reissues out there. I saw Truth and Janie. It was like on blue vinyl. I didn't pick it up. It was a little pricey, but there was some quality stuff in there this weekend. Okay, and this last one, this is the other one I picked up from Grapefruit as well. And I've been actually hunting this one down. I had this on Discogs want list, and this came out in like 2020 originally. And I first heard this a couple years ago now, 22. I always thought this was like a 3 LP set, but I guess I was wrong the whole time. It was a 2 LP. Just a lot of music packed into this one. And I'm sure some of you guys might know this one out there. Some channels I'm sub to. Strum and Thrum, the American Underground, or was it? The American Jangle Underground, 1983 to 87. This is a great beginner guide entering into some, like I said, those kind of Midwest college radio, slacker rock kind of styles, I guess is how you could describe this. I knew a couple tracks from this actually, which kind of invested my interest more. The song by The Love-In, Late As Usual. Whew, that's some good stuff right there. It's like one of my favorite, whatever you want to categorize it under, you know, power pop, jangle pop kind of song. And then the song Sunflower by the Springfields on the second LP, I heard on, I think it's a Sarah compilation. That might be on Sarah. I could be totally wrong, but I listened to the Sarah record label compilation, and I think that was on there. But otherwise, I'm still trying to kind of get familiar with some of these songs. It had been a while since I streamed this one, because this was one that I streamed for a long time, and some of the songs kind of wear on you a little bit more than others. Like, I think it's the song I'm in Heaven by the Cyclones, or one of these tracks kind of gets a little, you know, kind of get old of it after a while. But in the end, man, this is some significantly amazing, sort of obscure, the kind of underbelly of what was to come later on. You know, these bands were definitely listening to some of that early first wave of punk, you know, post-punk, no wave kind of styles, and just it's really interesting the results that, you know, the different regions they came from, and just how it all kind of collectively comes together. And it totally makes sense. You know, they were listening to a lot of Byrds as well. You know, that's kind of where the 12-string comes from. And I think I'm really getting into this genre too, because Jacob, as I mentioned earlier, my buddy, has been really on a power pop kick, and he's kind of influenced me or inspired me to listen to more as well. I guess that's all it took, you know, is the in-person contact with someone who was ecstatic about the style, and kind of gave me the itch to investigate some more myself. And this is some quality stuff, man. This came with a really thick booklet too. Talk about the passion and oral history from the first wave of American indie rock. It's kind of awkward to read too. I had to actually sit at the kitchen table to read this, because it's pretty kind of thick and wide. You heard me right. But this is yeah, The Love-In right here. I think that was an EP that song was on, right? Really love that track. Knock it down, or whatever they say. I don't even care what they're singing about. It's all about the flavor. It's all about the textures they're singing about. And kind of, you know, goes in their back history. Pretty much all these bands listen to stuff like REM, the Feelies, the DBs, and it's kind of sending me off on onto those journeys too, you know, kind of looking in their discographies and just getting all wrapped up into it. And I haven't read the entire booklet yet. I mean, it's a pretty long read, and I haven't read any of this yet, talking about the individual tracks, but it's got a lot to offer. I think these are kind of going, maybe used copies, new to used copies, maybe $40 now. Got this on a discount because I traded just enough to get this one for nothing, and yeah, man, this is significantly, I think this is really great sort of beginner entry level getting into the jangle pop scenes from the US. And yeah, so I mentioned my favorite tracks so far, and just been really kind of listening to this one. I've been listening a lot on headphones now since I've hooked my mixer up. Kind of just been enjoying the more, you know, close and personal listens rather than just my speakers. Kind of has a different nuance about it. So yeah, definitely recommend this one. It's definitely up on streaming, and check out the track Late as Usual by The Love-In. That's a great track. Kind of makes me, a lot of this music too, I think I mentioned it, reminds me of just kind of small town America, college rock radio, you know, community college kind of things in the Midwest back in the 80s. It's definitely a vibe. You know, during the autumn season, kids going back to school. Has a lot of those kind of youthful reminiscence about it. And I'm sinking into it. Like what I hear so far. So that's all I got for now. Don't have any other things coming in the mail or anything. Got some future live streams set up ever since I did my little test stream on Sunday. This past Sunday I did a little stream doing my mixer with the live streams. The audio is coming in really good now. Thanks to Mr. Bizarro out there. Thank you, sir. And it's just, it's a good thing. We're going to definitely do some future live streams this winter when we're trapped in the house. And really excited to share the experience with you. And more Acid Archives to come, maybe. Like I said, I have the next record in mind, but I just have to jump back into it, collect my thoughts on it, and just make the effort to do the video. Maybe I'll do it this weekend. Shall see. But anyways, take care, and we shall see you soon.